Hey everyone, welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast. I am Nayan, your host for this particular episode, and we will be covering the box office results. There have been some juicy numbers this week, and a big milestone as well. We also just have the Kraven the Hunter trailer, which released about 15 minutes ago from when this was recorded, so you know that is serving fresh to you on a hot little plate right now. And then we also have some news about Ted Lasso Season 4. And the main event of this podcast is we are doing an S-tier list for MCU films, but we're not doing the whole saga because that will take far too long. We have to split it up. So we're deciding to go from shit to best. So we're doing the Multiverse Saga up to where it's currently, which is Deadpool and Wolverine, because obviously that's the latest content out. As always, I'm joined here by James.
Hello.
So sit back, crack open a cold one, or in this case, a bottle, like me and James.
Nice red wine.
Red wine, we're keeping it classy here. It's nighttime, it's winter.
Is that warm drink that you got to have?
There's a belly full of warm wine or something. I'm sure that's what Robert Baratheon said.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Their name's on the Game of Thrones buzz now, but I'm sure when it gets to summer, we'll be cracking open some cold ones when we do these potties.
Oh, fuck yeah, we would be.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump straight into it. The weekend box office results. We got Deadpool Wolverine, third week. And we also have some new films as well. It Ended With Us, that was its first week, and Borderlands as well. So from first to fourth, we'll just cover the four major ones because those are the most important ones. We have Deadpool and Wolverine topping the charts with 54.175 million. It Ends With Us with 50 million. Twisters with 15.15 million. And Borderlands with 8.8 million. Now, the key thing here is that Borderlands is in its debut and Twisters has been up for at least a month already. So, yeah, James, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's Twister's fourth week. That's a very impressive drop. I think it only dropped like 33%. It's just, it's a real big shame that it dropped on digital when it did because it's already made 220 million. Like, it has enough steam to continue to go to around like 270, maybe 260. 270 is probably out of reach. But yeah, Twisters dropping around 34%, 15 million. I think it's a great fourth weekend for it. It has been one of the biggest box office shocks. I think when we do our end of year review on it in terms of the box office side of the year review, I think Twisters will be a contender for the biggest box office surprise. I don't know, because It Ends With Us, a movie I only heard about last week, opens to 50 million. Dude, that boggles my mind.
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, yeah, you know, it's probably the Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively dynamic kind of in full force promoting each other's content. It seems to have worked really well. You kind of got a, I'm trying to think of a name, Rye Lake. You know, it's like Barbenheimer, but the new one. I don't know what their power couple name is. Some little girl in the chat will tell us. Yeah, anyway, It Ends With Us. 50 million debut is extremely impressive. I remember on our D23 live reaction podcast that we did, I said that it's going to be around 40 to 50 million, only going to break 50 million if it's not front-loaded, and it's not front-loaded because it surpassed 50 million. You look at Monday and Tuesday, I think Tuesday it's looking to be around 7.6 million. And with that Tuesday locked in, you're looking at around a total around that 150 million mark. Has a chance to get to 200 million, which would be undoubtedly the biggest box office surprise of the year because, wow, that's a lot, especially for a movie that no one thinks about. But these kind of movies are the ones that kind of give me faith in the cinema industry. You know, we've heard all the criticism for the first half of the year, which, by the way, everyone's silent about now. No one's been like, oh, cinemas are in trouble.
Exactly.
They're clearly not. But these movies are the ones that give us the faith. Deadpool and Wolverine, we know that's going to be a banger. Inside Out, we knew that would make money. Albeit not as much as it did, but It Ends With Us, no IP. Sure, it has some star power in there, but that comes to 50 million. It's going to be around that, 50 Shades of Grey, Fault in Our Stars kind of box office realm. Yeah, but with the good, you must take the bad, and that brings us to Borderlands. I think the budget's around 110 to 130. Marketing was like 30 million, so they didn't spend much on marketing. Clearly, 8.6 million opening weekend. That's It's so bad.
It couldn't even beat a film that is 4 weeks in the cinemas and it's already released on digital.
I know, it's absolutely insane. And you think it made nearly half its money on the first day for that entire weekend. What's it sitting at? The worldwide total is 12.3 million.
Another big L.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous. I think this movie is headed for a complete catastrophe, the biggest box office bomb of the year by far. And I know that because it's not even in the top 5 for Monday's box office. Trap, Despicable Me 4, and Twisters beat it. Despicable Me 4. What? I don't know how, but it did. Despicable Me nearly doubled its Monday gross. So, yeah, this movie's headed for an absolute disaster. But, hey, I didn't even hear about it, really, until it was kind of reaching its opening weekend. Mm-hmm. I heard bits and bobs over the years, but, yeah, absolute catastrophe. Deadpool and Wolverine, that one has, yeah, that's the one that actually a surprise to me.
It is.
And because I remember on our chat, and we're talking about box office and stuff, I'm like, all right, this is open massive, really, really high. I thought it was going to drop like a rock. I thought it was going to drop like 60 to 65% and then 50% the next week. And it dropped 44%. Here for 53, it's basically surpassed 500 now. And it's going to go on to around 650. You're going to have a true challenge with Inside Out 2 for who's going to be the biggest in terms of domestic box office for the year. I don't know who's going to win summer, but Deadpool and Wolverine, it's on pace to give us a good showdown there. Worldwide, has no contest, so yeah.
And with it comes a new milestone. It's now the second R-rated film to hit $1 billion. That was made, I think, a couple days ago. It's fun to hit that $1 billion mark, which is awesome, and it could potentially be on track to beat Joker, or quite comfortably based on these numbers. It's definitely going to beat Joker at this point.
Yeah. Because Joker's only 1.08, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine only has to make 42 million to catch up to Joker. So it's going to beat Joker.
Probably this weekend.
Yeah, easily. I think it might be Joker by the end of before the weekend starts. Nah, probably not, but the Friday for sure. Mm-hmm. I think, we said 1.2 to 1.3. I think it has a chance to go over 1.3. Maybe that 1.35 mark. I think it has a really strong chance. Just really incredible stuff. I think it shows that with the right IP, with the right marketing, an R-rated movie can be massive. Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see what our Joker 2 does when it releases this October. If it manages to reach $1 billion or close.
I would say 850 million, just if I had to give a prediction right now. I don't think it's going to come close to what Joker did. The only thing that's really exciting with Joker in comparison to Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine's got around 500 million domestically right now, and then internationally 536 million. So it's kind of like 50-50 between domestic and the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. But with Joker, it only made 335 million in the US, and then it made 743 million worldwide. In the international markets. So a complete disparity there, but the same for Deadpool and Wolverine. So Joker might beat it on an international level, which is still very, very impressive. So not trying to take anything away from Joker there, but an awesome milestone to see.
It is. It's great. Cinemas are definitely back. So all of you guys out there that were hating on it,
Drew's making this personal. He's addressing one person rather than the audience of the podcast. I love it.
No, because there were people on Twitter as well.
Yeah. It was all over Twitter. It was insane.
Got to put them in check.
The death of cinema.
Exactly. All right, we're moving on to the most anticipated film of 2024. That is Kraven and the Hunter. That was delayed an entire year and then another almost 6 months. Because it was supposed to come out last year in August, and now it's been delayed till December this year. It stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Kraven. Also has Ariana DeBose and Russell Crowe in it. It is made by Sony. The director is J.C. Chandor, and it's about the Spider-Man villain. Sony's going with this villain route for solo films. James, we just saw the trailer that dropped probably 20 minutes ago now. What are your thoughts on this in comparison to the first trailer, and are you slightly on board?
I would say I'm slightly on board. I think it's a really good term you use, slightly, because I'm not on board, but I'm not off board either. Like, based on that first trailer, I'm like, okay, this is classic Sony, boring. It might be a little entertaining, but I don't really care. I'll see it when I see it, kind of thing. This one, it's like, it could be okay. I mean, I said to you straight after we literally just watched it, and afterwards I'm like, that feels totally different to what the first trailer was trying to sell us on. I think that delay has been effective in at least trying to make this a different movie. So if the recent reports are true that, it was delayed in order to sharpen the characters, tighten the plot, reshooting, if those are true, then kudos to Sony for finally having some self-awareness and being like, all right, we can't, just sell rubbish. Madam Web showed you that you can't. I haven't seen the movie, I can't really judge it. But hey, I will watch that probably before Kraven the Hunter. But yeah, it does feel like a different movie. It feels like those reshoots, the delay has actually had some effect on the movie. I hope that it can translate to this movie being decent. Mm-hmm. And I have some hope that it will be okay. I think that R rating is going to give them a little bit of flexibility to kind of go all out with the character, take the shackles off a bit, let him just kind of run loose. And I think you need that with a Kraven the Hunter kind of character. I would love to see Spider-Man go up against him. But this is Sony's universe. They've really struggled. I don't think they've had a single good movie in the thing because I'll be the first to say that the Venom movies aren't good. They're entertaining for how silly and weird they are. I love a good Venom movie, but they're not good. So, yeah. I don't have hope for this one, but I hope that it can be entertaining at least.
Yeah, me too. I have the same thoughts as you. It still looks like as if it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
But I think the most entertaining thing about this is going to be those big action set pieces, you know, like the way and how creative he gets with his kills. I mean, we already saw one in there with the bear trap. And
yeah, that's cool,
it's like, it's like wincing almost. So I hope that what they show in the trailer is not the full creativity of the, kills and stuff like that. I hope they've sort of held some more back, knowing Sony, they'll probably just put all their eggs in the first basket.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they always do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm slightly on board as well. I did think that there were some pretty cool shots in there as well. Whether that was just edited because of the trailer or if it's actually going to be in the final film. I hope it's in the final film because some of them were like, okay, that's a cool shot for a Sony film.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kraven the Hunter. I still don't agree with the whole villain solo films. I'm trying to make them anti-heroes, but I understand because they don't have the full Spider-Man. Actually, they do. They can fully make Spider-Man. Yeah. So
I think their deal with Marvel is just too lucrative to really kind of sabotage. Yeah. Just because Spider-Man's, made $1.9 billion. So they're going to be happy with that kind of money. So,
exactly.
They're not do anything to put that in jeopardy.
But hopefully the delays has made an improvement rather than just delaying the inevitable, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. Now, speaking of delaying the inevitable, Ted Lasso season 4.
It's the worst bridge to the next segment that I've heard. Delaying the inevitable.
Because it's going to happen one way or another. Season 1 and 2. James and I were so hyped for it. James got me into it, and I watched it like 3 times in a week. Both season 1 and 2. And then season 3 came out, and we're like, yo, we're super hyped for it. And then as each episode came out, there was a piece of us kept dying and dying and dying until that final episode, until there was nothing of us left, because that's how trash it was and how big of a missed opportunity it was. Almost Game of Thrones levels like, but not quite as intense.
If it built it up for 8 years, then perhaps it might be very, very similar to it.
But we do have some new details. It's come out. Nothing's quite confirmed here yet. But the co-creator for Ted Lasso is basically waiting on Jason Sudeikis to make a decision about season 4. Apparently everyone is on board in terms of cast and crew. They're just needing, obviously, their main character, Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, to give the thumbs up. There's a lot of complications with this because during the first 3 seasons, it was obviously a year of filming, and because it's based in the UK, Sudeikis had to move him and his whole family to the UK. Yeah. And that probably what caused the rift between him and Olivia Wilde, but it's a conversation for another day.
Yep.
But yeah, so obviously Sudeikis has a lot to think about here. Would you be on board for a season 4? And if you are, or if you're not, what direction do you think it could go in to potentially make season 3 better, or make it better than season 3, or justified?
As for the season 4, fuck no. Please don't do that, please. As for what they can do to make season 3 better, there's only one right answer for this, and that's just to redo it. And it's not to be funny or humorous, even though it is kind of funny, but that's literally the only way. Because
It's too recent though, right?
pardon?
It's too recent.
Oh, I don't care. Just redo it. I can delete the viewing of S3. Oh, I'm saying S3. Season 3. I can just delete that from my brain and watch it with an open mind. Others may not. Others will get confused, as they usually do. But yeah, Ted Lasso season 4. I hope Jason Sudeikis says no or keeps firm about the ending of the story. I think it was at the point in time when we see these characters at the very end of the last episode, their character arcs and stories have ended. They're closed. So the problem isn't so much the ending with Ted Lasso. So because I just don't believe there's any story left to tell for much of the characters. The real problem is how it got from season 2 to the end of season 3.
Yeah.
Because the first, I can't remember the exact episode total, but I know that so much was crammed in those last 2 episodes where suddenly he forgives Nate the Great, and Jamie Tart comes to some kind of catharsis. Roy is comfortable being single. Keely has had a lesbian fling that didn't elevate a character at all. Lasso's gone back home for his kids. Yeah, there's no story left to tell, but all that happened in that 2 episodes, and that was what was wrong with it, because so much season 3 just felt like classic Ted Lasso. It was fine. It was decent stuff. But each week, I remember me and you, we were talking about it kind of week on week about this series, and we're like, okay, when is it going to get to kind of, more Nate the Great betraying them kind of stuff? And then when it got to those last 2 episodes, we're like, how is it going to end? Because there's so much story left to tell to end this whole series.
Blew right through it.
Exactly, yeah. So it's done, and it ended the way it ended. Just leave it alone. Just admit you made an L. It's honestly, you said Game of Thrones before, but it's not really much of a joke because it's suffered the exact same consequences as the Game of Thrones series. So yeah, it's just rushing to an ending. So yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't think we should touch it. It's like if they said Game of Thrones season 9. Would you be down for that? No. What are your thoughts on a Ted Lasso season 4? Can you see any kind of potential of a story there?
Not really. The only story that they could really do is Richmond actually winning the cup, the championship.
Yeah, they never did that, eh?
Yeah, that is the only story thread from Ted Lasso that's left loose. Otherwise, everyone else's story has been tied up. I mean, you could probably have Ted come back in a sort of cameo role if Sudeikis doesn't want to come back full time.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, we pretty much saw the who was it? Roy, Nate, British reporter guy, and Baird. What's his name?
Coach Baird, isn't it? I forgot his name.
Baird all staying back and pretty much looking at the sign off. Whatever. Evil. I can't even remember. I've forgotten. But I just know that was a cliffhanger, and then I think Apple retweeted that shot saying it smells like potential, and that's where things got cooking.
Okay, look, I'll say this. Ted Lasso cannot continue without Jason Sudeikis as Ted Lasso.
Exactly.
I won't be watching it.
You have to call it something else.
Yeah.
Because why would you call it Ted?
The Great.
Why would you call it Ted Lasso season 4 if Ted Lasso's only going to be in there for like a 5-minute cameo?
Even if he's not in there at all, like that's where I can just see the story going, and just showing kind of, I guess, Ted Lasso's effect on Richmond. That's really it, but that's very thin storytelling at that point.
Unless you just recall it Richmond AFC, a Ted Lasso story. because you know how.
Oh, don't do the whole Ted Lasso story on me.
But you know that's exactly what they would do.
I'm actually so mad they didn't get to the cup. I just wish there was more things in place. Do you remember when season 2 ended and we were waiting for season 3 and they came out with that big announcement about how I think it was the Premier League. They're like,
they could use the kits and teams.
licensing and all that stuff. We got that, and it's just like it was wasted.
Just for that.
Oh man, it just triggers me. Why can't you just?
I think it's because Sudeikis didn't want to continue it for that long. It needed to be longer, at least 4 or 5 seasons.
Who cares about your kid? Just go to London and shoot.
I'd say. What's more important, your kid or an Emmy?
Exactly. Like Nan said it here. Then Emmy is more important.
Exactly. You will never love anything more than a golden trophy.
Exactly. Oh no, it's just a shame. I hate when things like this happen. Really great TV shows burdened by a bad final season. To the point where we don't talk about it anymore.
Get ready for that to happen to the bear.
No, don't do that to the bear. I trust the bear to know when it's past its potential.
All right. Well, only time will tell with the bear, but right now it is very much on track. But we will have to wait and see.
On track. I still haven't seen season 3.
Oh, watch it.
I know, I need to. So season 3 is not. I haven't heard. It's not as good as the first 2, right?
Yeah.
It loses a little bit of steam.
But it's still good. It's
yeah.
not as bad as fucking Ted Lasso or Game of Thrones. All right, we are just setting up quickly. This is our MCU Multiverse Saga tier list. Basically, enough of you guys that have seen a tier list before, it's ranked from S to D, or however many letters you want to go down from that. S being the highest, A being the second highest, and so on and so on. And you just rank the films in those categories. In this one, James and I have gotten a bit creative with our
tiers.
And
the names and the way we categorize it. Yeah.
And the names and the whatever of our tiers. I'm probably less creative. I've sort of gone because I couldn't think today. So I just chucked in random words.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so this is everything post-Endgame, excluding Far From Home. So it's pretty much from WandaVision.
It's the Multiverse Saga so far, yeah.
And it's all the way up till Deadpool and Wolverine because that is the most current.
That's the new boy in the block.
All right, so what we'll do first is we will reveal our individual tiers. So everyone knows we're ranking everything.
Yeah. So sorry we can't do visual for this one, but I'm assuming Nan's going to start from the bottom and go all the way up?
Yes.
Or are you going to go, okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Why would you start from the top?
I don't know. You just want to get the good first?
No.
In with the bad?
All right. So I have 6 tiers. The first one is called DNS, as in did not see.
DNS? I like it.
Because I couldn't chuck it in the shit category because that's unfair, so I had to create its own category. The shit category is called Need to Bleach My Eyes because I don't want to see that shit ever again. And then the next category is meh because that's what it is. And then we have easily forgettable but still good because they are good films but they are very easy to forget. And then we have the next tier of MCU is back.
Oh, I like that one. That one's cool, yeah.
And then the very top tier is God tier. When I say God tier, I don't mean like Avengers Endgame type of God tier. I mean like God tier for the Multiverse Saga. You know?
Right.
Or just
the goats.
Yeah. All right, cool. James, what are your tiers called?
Oh, we're going to go on to the tier ones. Mine don't make sense unless I tell you or show you, but I guess I will say it and then we can do it and I can reveal it to you, but there'll be spoilers throughout it. So my tiers names, the lowest one is called Murder the Director.
Okay.
My next one is Woman Beating Villains Suck. Why Does This Exist is my next one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Flawed and Fun Phase 1, meaning it's like those Phase 1 of the Infinity Saga where they're very flawed, but they're fun. Thor, Captain America, Avengers and stuff. They're flaws, but they're fun. Phase 3 goodness, that's the, that golden era of the MCU, that Phase 3, that, 2-year stretch where Marvel was on its game, perhaps 3-year stretch where, you had Thor, Homecoming, Infinity War, Black Panther, everything was coming out and it was just fun. It was good. And then you have the Goat Saga as the goats, the top,
Right.
the best of the best when it comes to the Multiverse Saga. So those are my ones. I guess, Nan, you kick us off.
I'll kick you off.
Yeah.
I would love to kick you off.
I don't know what that means, but
Can you pass me the wine bottle first? This is going to be
oh right, yeah.
a lengthy segment. I
It will be a
feel.
lengthy segment.
All right, so my first tier is obviously, I'll just do the first 2 tiers, or do you want to just do DNS? I'll do DNS because you have 6 too.
Just do your entire tiers, I guess, and then
We could just go tier by tier.
I'll give you my. We share our bottom tiers there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So mine is obviously,
Actually, no. You do yours, and I'll just comment on each tier.
okay.
Yeah. So I think it's just better for the audience to follow us with one tiers list at a time.
Okay, that is easy.
Hope everyone agrees.
So I'll just get rid of the singular shots and I'll just bring up my entire chart.
You can do it one by one. I'm going to reveal it to you slowly,
Okay.
just so we can get Nane's live reaction in the potty here.
All right, so in DNS, what did not qualify is Echo and What If Season 2 and She-Hulk. I've only seen 1 episode of She-Hulk and I stopped. Based on that one, I'll go into need to bleach my eyes, but I thought I'll be fair. I saw 1 of the 8 episodes. I can't judge it properly, even though I know that my judgment on that first episode is absolutely correct. So it's gone into the did not qualify type of category. All right, in the next category, we have need to bleach my eyes. These are the ones that I will probably never watch again. They were absolutely terrible, and only way I would watch it is if I am blind drunk and I have to. So in there we have Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yep.
That was built up as, Kang is back, or Kang is here.
Kang has arrived.
Kang has arrived. It's the first 2 Ant-Man films. They weren't bad. They weren't good. They were just okay.
Yep.
And there was just a lot of flaws with this. Firstly, the story structure of Kang himself.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
easily the worst part of it all.
like him not even being defeated by a proper Avenger or even the Avengers. He just got killed by ants. Horrific. And speaking of horrific, we got MODOK. He was absolutely horrific. He looked horrific. He was acted horrifically. What a way to drop that ball.
Yeah.
The CGI overall, so trash.
Oh yeah, awful stuff.
Bleach my eyes.
That's fair.
Next, we have Eternals, probably the most boringest movie in history.
Whoa. Spicy, I feel.
Yeah, it was MCU's first rotten film. It was a very long film too. It was about 2 hours 40 odd minutes.
Yeah.
There or thereabouts, and it was just basically a lot of lore building. If you like lore, you'll love this film. If you don't like lore and you're expecting something more MCU, then you're gonna want to bleach your eyes. Even the acting performances, not enough of them will really stand out. The stuff that they're built towards haven't even been addressed until now in Captain America: Brave New World. Yeah. Next one is Secret Invasion. This had so much potential that I was quite excited for. The trailers looked pretty good as well. And then when the final product came out, it was so trash. Like, just the ending of Emilia Clarke's character, I think her name is Gaia, just, being able to essentially download
Because they
powers.
use data, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, download powers of a particular superhero, and she did it for all the heroes. And now she's just like, who needs the Avengers? Like, if Galactus comes up, fucking chuck her at him. Doctor Doom, okay, see you later. Chuck her at him.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And some of the, the whole. You've seen it?
Secret Invasion? Half of it.
Okay. Do you want spoilers or no? Nah.
Yeah, go for it. You just spoiled a whole bunch for me, so just carry on.
Oh, but you knew about it anyway.
I know. But yeah, you can carry on.
And then the whole reveal that Rhodey is a Skrull
Oh yeah, I did see that.
was like, why? And it was confirmed that it was Rhodey, I think, after Civil War.
So it was, in-game
he's a Skrull.
Rhodey, and everyone's
So-
like, oh, that kind of ruins everything about his character.
Exactly, and all the whole emotional beats.
Yep.
So we'll bleach my eyes for that. God, I need to get another bottle. Nah, because we get into like the 2 worst films. You have Thor: Love and Thunder. We were all excited for this based on the fact that Thor Ragnarok, rejuvenated Thor, so to speak. Like it gave him a different, give him a different take in the MCU. Pretty much a breath of fresh air from his doom and gloom sort of first two films, and he had a lot more purpose, especially after Infinity War and Endgame. He had a bit more purpose, and then Taika Waititi, he did a great job with Ragnarok, came into this and just gave us the worst thing humanly possible. Cringeworthy jokes,
Why is it on the same tier as Eternals? Like,
because Eternals is boring.
yeah, but one's bad, like objectively worse than the other.
Well, if I had a seventh tier, then Eternals will be on that sixth tier.
More tiers. Just get rid of Thor.
But, we know where Thor's going to sit on James's one. But, yeah, it was full of trash. Even the jokes weren't funny. The CGI was average. The whole thing with Korg, it was just an extension of Taika Waititi. And if you know Taika Waititi is actually not that funny. He needs people to write his jokes for him. He's not a good joke writer himself. Yeah. He ain't going to listen to this, and he ain't going to give a shit about what I say, but who cares?
I hope he listens to this now after you've said it.
I do. If he's going to the All Blacks game, I'll meet you there.
He's usually at those things.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, don't like it. And then the last one for me was The Marvels. This is a film that should have been Captain Marvel 2 and not The Marvels, because no one gave a shit about Monica Rambeau. In fact, whoever saw this probably didn't even know who the fuck Monica Rambeau was, because in order to do that, they'd have to watch WandaVision. And then we have Miss Marvel. Okay.
Another TV show. But
I can justify her character, Like, you could easily, recap that very, very quickly, 10, 15 minutes in a movie about her love for Captain America. Not Captain America, Captain Marvel and stuff like that. That's easy. But Monica Rambeau, get out of here.
She's like a really side character to WandaVision as well.
She is, and she got her powers in the most stupidest way possible, walking through a barrier. There was nothing good about this film. The CGI was crap. The story was crap. The villain was even worse. And the cliffhanger was just, why are you focusing on this particular character? And that particular character is Monica Rambeau, because she's going to serve no greater purpose.
Wait, what was the cliffhanger again?
It was her waking up.
Oh, she was surrounded by Beast and another Monica, was it?
Yeah, it was her mother, but it was I think it was Captain Marvel. Was her mother or something?
I don't know, but some X-Men guys.
Yeah, stupid. Okay. So those are the first two tiers. What do you think of mainly probably the second tier, because DNS doesn't really count?
Yeah, no, DNS doesn't count. It's up to you to watch the MCU, and with the rated content, I don't expect you to watch everything. I don't expect anyone to watch anything because, hey, we all have busy lives, all right? I think Disney thinks that they own us and that we'll watch anything we give them, but we won't. We'll pick and choose. So no critique there. Otherwise, I would, you got to separate some of those because some are easily better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is better than Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, it's just a fact.
Yeah, I just try to keep it to 5 tiers.
Yeah.
And I just added a 6.
If you have to condense, then it's suitable. It's fine. It's fair. I would just have Eternals in the league above, because as far as filmmaking goes, at least it's good.
That's true.
Yeah, it might have one of the best visual effects of a Marvel movie or of an MCU movie. The others are deservingly where they need to be. So, yeah, you've got one mistake so far.
All right, I'm going to be harsh on yours now.
Yeah, no, good. I want you to come at me.
Thor: Love and Thunder last? Nah, should have been higher. Don't forget that boombox fucking scene.
What boombox
with
scene?
Valkyrie, the...
Oh, don't know. Why are you saying this? You're just getting me angry. It's not even funny. It's just making me angry.
All right, we'll move on to the next tier. Oh, by the way, did you want me to read out the tiers then show, or would you rather have it all there?
Oh, you can just read the tiers. I mean, the people listening, read out the tiers to them and tell them.
No, but do you want to see it, or do you want to hear what's in my tiers before I show you?
I want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. The next one is meh. It's just meh.
I thought that was Guardians of the Galaxy post then. I was like, what?
It's like meh. It's like...
Oh, he's gotten spicy, guys. All right. Okay.
It's not good. It's just meh.
Is it bad?
I would say it's on the cusp of bad and good. It's like has a potential to be good.
Like a 5 out of 10 around.
Yeah, around about a 5, 6 max pushing it.
4 lowest kind of thing.
4 lower. So it's the meh
Interesting.
category. It's like
Get ready, guys. I'm seeing this. This is
it's like
spicy.
not enough to get me to get hateful on. First one is Black Widow. That is meh for me because it came 10 years too late. It should have had. This film should have been released pre-Endgame, and it would have just, made that impact of Black Widow's death even more meaningful.
Yeah.
So I think
100%.
that was my main criticism for this. It was an okay film overall. We got Florence Pugh's Yelena in it, and she was easily one of the highlights in the film. And they had good chemistry between each other. But then the classic Marvel stuff, poor CGI, and just a missed opportunity here. That's the reason why it's meh.
Fair.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh,
I think
one.
that
Yeah, that one's spicy for sure.
that one is meh for me because it promised so much and delivered so little. We were expecting the Multiverse of Madness, and all we got was
It's in the title, right?
and all we got was just multiverse and zero madness. The only multiverse stuff we saw was probably about 10 minutes worth, if that. And it was just him jumping through.
And then he gets to that world where, the red light means go and green light means stop. That's so creative.
Meh. This is why it's so meh. There's obviously some good elements with it, like the sort of horror sort of theme Sam Raimi was coming out here. Wanda's sort of angle here was okay. Could have been better, but it just felt like as if this should have been probably before WandaVision. Because WandaVision painted her out to be a hero. Now all of a sudden she's a baddie, and sure they justify it because it was the Darkhold or whatever that book was has corrupted her. That's cool. There's some great visual effects in it as well, and creativity with that, and some cool cameos that got blitzed through and just as fast as we saw them. But other than that, it's meh.
Interesting.
Then we have Miss Marvel. It's one of those TV series where half is good and then the last half is meh. And the meh is strong enough to get rid of the of the good stuff. I mean, it built this character up so well in that first half, and then it just went into I don't even know where it went. It just completely fumbled the ball on the character and the storyline direction. Just sort of it was almost like a change of tone, but not in the good sort of way.
Right.
And obviously Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel just became a bit more obnoxious throughout this latter half. So I didn't quite enjoy it. WandaVision, that might be another controversial one.
Yeah, that one's for sure spicy.
That one for me is meh, mainly because I liked the first 3 episodes, but then after that was just a repeat. It was just building and building and building and building, and nothing really happened until the last episode.
It's kind of what a TV season does, doesn't it?
No, not building. You know exactly what I mean when I say
don't know what you
building.
mean.
Because we discussed this. It was always just it was teasing something, or you're expecting something to happen, but then nothing really happened. It was always just filler, and then let's progress the story. Similar to Ted Lasso, but not as bad.
Don't even compare. No, I wouldn't compare them.
It was just a bunch of filler.
I'll get to my
episodes.
take when I get to my turn, but yeah.
All right. And the thing with the beekeeper, I still want to know what's up with the beekeeper. Remember how in I think one of the black and white episodes, guy just came out of the drain in a beekeeper suit. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, who's this guy?"
Oh, I thought you were talking about that movie that came out this year.
Oh shit, maybe it might have been Jason Statham. Who knows? Next, we have What If. This is just where Marvel could get creative, but in the animated realm. It was pretty much a bunch of nothing until the final 2 episodes.
No, remember that 3rd episode?
Oh, sorry.
With Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Might be one of the best things Marvel's ever done.
That is true.
Yeah.
But story-wise, it did nothing until those last 2.
Yeah, no, I get this one.
So that was a bit meh. The last 3 episodes were serviceable. Then we have Hawkeye.
Yep.
Can't remember it that much apart from Yelena trying to kill Clint and Clint just trying to...
Oh, I forgot she was in this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Yelena and Kate Bishop having a little Skillmance, and then it's just a bunch of nothing as well. It's another film that
I think I just remember him being in like a Christmas tree.
yeah.
Oh, and then I think, was it Camilla Khan at the end? And she was like, oh my God, we're putting together a team. And it was like, mocking the whole Nick Fury.
No, that was the Marvels.
Oh, and was it Kate Bishop doing the one with putting together a team?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I can't remember. So that's why it's meh.
It's how forgettable it is,
Meh for me.
Yep.
So I clearly know that you want to talk about two things, so you might as well get to it.
Well, I don't give too much away because it's going to spoil what I have to say in my turn. Otherwise, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision may be a little bit too harsh there. Even What If? But it really depends on the way you've labeled your tiers here. So I completely understand meh for What If. I just think Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision, they bring too much uniqueness and interesting elements for it to just be meh. I think it deserves maybe a little bit more above that, but that's just me. Yeah. Some people will agree or disagree with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. It is easily forgettable but still good. This is films that I remember or series that are good, but I've forgotten a lot about it. First one is Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know that there was a lot of good in it. Do you want me to zoom in?
No, we're good. I figured it out. I was just trying to see what the second one was.
Right.
A little spicy for me.
Like they're all good series and films, but I just forgot what happened in them. I mean, there's moments in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is the first one. They were great. The whole bad Captain America. I forgot his name.
Oh, what is it? U.S. agent now?
Yeah. U.S. agent.
The blood on the shield.
Yeah.
That was like,
those are awesome as moments. And then we had the finale where it just didn't quite live up to the build up that all the previous season was doing.
Yep.
Everything with Zemo and Falcon and Winter Soldier was great as well.
Yep.
It brought a really good dynamic to Zemo and oh my God, it's my mum and stuff like that.
She's complaining about your rankings, man.
Probably. Next one we have is Moon Knight. I thoroughly enjoyed Moon Knight. I know a lot of people didn't, but I just liked how it was a different take. It was a more darker tone to what the MCU is used to, and some of the shots are really, really creative and the way that I forgot his. See, this is why it's not easily forgettable because I forgot the main character's name.
Oh, there you go.
Just
Oscar Isaac.
No, his actual character's name. How he just transcends into Moon Knight, and it's he just forgets. I think it's Jake something, or no, that might be the third guy.
Sully.
There's 3 guys in there, but yeah, the story.
Mark Spector.
Yeah,
he's 5 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see how he could snap into each. I think we only saw 3 in this, 4 at the end. But each sort of take that he played was very, very different.
Yeah.
But the whole story, I can't remember much about the story apart from Kevin Bacon holding a scepter and trying to do something, and then these big ass giant Egyptian gods fighting in Egypt. Yeah. The next one might be a bit controversial, is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I know that this is a good film, but it's easily forgettable because I can't remember much about it. But it was super, super emotional. You're coming on the back of Chadwick's death. This is the first film since that. There's a lot of emotional moments in that. I think in the very earliest scenes where they announced that Black Panther has died, and you could just see that it was actual real tears for the actor rather than the character. And then we had that awesome as montage at the end. Or the sort of, not montage, homage, or emotional moment at the end where there was that song playing and it was just Shuri on a beach crying.
Oh, right, yeah. And remember the start where it's the Marvel logo and it's just him and it's oh, damn, okay.
That gets you. But other than that, I don't remember much about the story. I know Michael B. Jordan pops up, but other than that...
Oh, yeah, and a flashback trip scene kind of thing.
But other than that, all I remember is that it's basically just Shuri becoming Black Panther, but... I can't remember who the villain is, but I just...
It's Namor.
Oh,
Nay.
yes.
It's Nay.
Namor, yes, I remember that.
Namor.
Helped He'll probably never be in the MCU after his controversies, but yeah, we'll
Wait,
see.
what happened with him?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I definitely know that he had some controversy.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. And the next one is Shang-Chi. I think the reason why this isn't easily forgettable but good is because a lot of these happened like at least 3-4 years ago.
And you've just forgotten.
And I've just forgotten
That's
it.
unfair for the rankings.
Well, it's what they deserve for not being memorable enough. We have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This was it the first film during COVID?
No, Black Widow would have been.
Second film?
Yes.
One of the earlier COVID films for MCU.
Shang-Chi and then Eternals, yeah.
One of the very earlier films. And it was a delight. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the comedy was good, even if Aquafina was in there. And it built towards, like the end scene or the post-credit scene, it built towards Shang-Chi being a key member of the, what do you call it? Avengers. There we go.
Remember that.
I did.
That's how forgettable this movie is, guys.
Of the Avengers. And I know that we had like a scene with him fighting Abomination and stuff like that.
Yep.
The main villain was okay, but other than that, I can't remember why they were fighting.
It was his dad, wasn't it?
Was it dad or was it an uncle?
Some family relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we can't even remember. Easily forgettable, but still good because I know it was good and I didn't hate it. So yeah, that's that whole tier.
All right. Cool. I don't know. I think you're unfair to Falcon and the Winter Soldier a little bit. I mean, you said easily forgettable, and you're like mentioning like all the stuff about Zemo and like Captain America, like bad Captain America. It's like, and the finale, you remember that? So is it easily forgettable, or do you just not like it? But at least you say it's still good. So I can't really critique this one because you at least acknowledge that there's good aspects of these, and I would agree with pretty much all of them. Yeah.
All right. Well, compared to the next tier, that's the reason why this got one
Fair.
named. Otherwise, this
Let's see it. Let's reveal it.
Otherwise, this just would have been B.
Yep.
Right, we have MCU is back, and I think James might have a bit of controversy with this one. So we have Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a very fun, enjoyable film. There was a lot of great moments in it.
Yeah.
But I think we had the issue that Deadpool was a bit overbearing at times. The film, it seemed to have progressed into Deadpool coming into the MCU, but he just went back to square one. He just went back to his own universe.
Yeah.
Like they had a chance to like really bring him into the MCU and the MCU universe and like get rid of his entire world and stuff like that. But no, he's stuck in square one with Wolverine now.
Yeah, we can talk spoilers as well. So if you want to go into it.
Yeah, the cameos were good. And the montage of all the different Wolverines. We got Mini Wolverine, we got Bearded Wolverine, we got One-Eyed Wolverine, Cowboy Wolverine.
Yeah.
We got Cavalrine and everything. That was awesome. Then Johnny Storm was in there, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, Channing Tatum is Gambit. Elektra is Jennifer Garner and Blade is Wesley Snipes. That was an awesome scene. That was hype as well.
That was cool, yeah.
So there was some really, really good moments to this film that was off fan service, but it served a purpose to the story. But I think just the overall story itself, the way that the whole film seemed to have been building up towards was sort of Deadpool coming into the MCU universe. But in the end, he just saved his own universe. Had all his friends, the girl that dumped him.
Yeah.
And, nope, still in the same room.
But he got Wolverine to his universe.
He got Wolverine in X-23.
Yeah, so it's part of the plan.
Yeah. So it's MCU is back. It's great. This is like the MCU I know and love. This is the quality I want it to be.
Yeah.
Let's effing go.
Let's effing go.
And then we have Loki seasons 1 and seasons 2. James is shaking his head here. Yes, I know it's a big part, but how much of a big part is it really going to play? Hasn't really been touched upon yet. I mean, sure, Deadpool and Wolverine has had the TVA in it, but there were some awesome moments in it. I know you hated Loki season 1 before it was even released, and you just hated the idea.
I hate the idea of Loki, yeah, because I mean, how many times does he have to die before the finality of his character is revealed?
That's true, and that was probably the main gripe for this before it came out, but then it showed that it was actually like meaningful and stuff like that.
Yep.
I thought it would have been a lot more meaningful if it was actually proper Loki in it, because obviously he had that time with Thor to like establish that emotional connection through Ragnarok, but it wasn't. But all the stuff it sets up for the multiverse and stuff like that was awesome. But the multiverse was never explored anything further than Loki. Even in Loki season 2, like that was the most we saw of the multiverse compared to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
No, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, they released before it.
Oh, right. You're talking about, chronological. Okay.
Yeah. Deadpool and Wolverine, that was more Multiverse of Madness, and that really explored both seasons of Loki because it had the TVA involved as well.
Yeah.
So that was really, really good. But it seems to us back. It is good. It is like 7.5 to 8 sort of territory. Yeah. But it is not God tier.
Not God tier. Let's see the God tier.
Because in my opinion, there's only 2 for this saga, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It was James Gunn's 3rd film for this franchise. Nice little trilogy, and it was capped off in probably one of the best ways possible. It was a largely entertaining film. I enjoyed it when I first watched it. We watched it again here for a lads' night, and we all enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
All the jokes stick. The villain was fantastic. The CGI was awesome. It baited you in some of the most emotional moments as well. It was really, really emotional.
Yeah.
The only flaw was that it never committed to a proper death of one of the main Guardians.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I can live with that.
Man wants a death.
I can live with that. I can see past that. That is fine. But everything else was great. The soundtrack was great. And at the end of it, we got a whole new team of Guardians, whether this franchise will continue, most likely without James Gunn.
Yep.
And it also served a purpose to Star-Lord, coming back to Earth and reuniting with, is it his uncle, granddad, or something like that?
Yeah, granddad.
So I think this film had a lot of good elements. Every character's character arc was sort of fulfilled,
Yeah.
This one was more rocket-heavy influence, and he probably had the best part of not only the entire Guardians franchise, but this film by far.
Yeah.
And like I said before, it was emotional as well. And then we have Spider-Man No Way Home. Like,
I'm glad. Sigh of relief from me there.
like, this was probably as heavily guarded as in-game. Spoilers were trying to be kept, leaks were trying to be kept under wraps.
But they weren't.
And then even when they were revealed, everyone was like questioning it. Like, no one's like, this is definite. Like, this is obviously in this film. I was like, oh, it could be Photoshop, but it could be real.
Andrew Garfield's like doing like a press tour. He's like, no, they're fake. Like, this clearly Photoshop.
Yeah. So like it had you on your toes, and then the film happened, and we saw the Trinity. Tobey Maguire was back. That was hype. Willem Dafoe has gone as Green Goblin. That was hype. Andrew Garfield coming back was hype as well.
Yep.
And I know you'll touch upon it a lot, but it actually, when you get to it, but this did Spider-Man and the MCU a lot more justice as a standalone. Sure, he doesn't have his own proper villain. But at least he doesn't have a villain that's tied to Tony Stark. It showed major growth for his character as Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
With severe consequences, which might be undone in Spider-Man 4, but we can't judge because we haven't seen it. So that's my reason.
Well, you still had like Aunt May dying, so
Aunt May.
part of it. Yeah.
So that is my God tier for this. So
I can't argue with it. Yeah. Like, there's things that I would switch around, and you're clearly going to see it on mine, but overall, I think we're mostly in agreement here. But, you look at this list, all in all, and it's like, it's just, you see where MCU's gone. How do you think the Infinity Saga on your tiers list would stack up with this? And
there'll be quite a few in the S tier rank.
You're talking God tier?
Yes. Sorry, God tier. Mainly a lot of Avenger films.
What would it be? Just Infinity War?
I'll probably put In-Game in there.
In-Game,
Winter Soldier.
Anything else?
I don't know. Have a look.
See.
I'm thinking.
It's only got 2, and there's still so much more to go.
Yeah. I think the second 2 tiers will be a lot more stacked, and it'll be a lesser and lesser. Like the last tiers will probably be like stuff like Thor.
Thor 2, Iron Man 2.
Thor, Iron Man 2.
Shit.
Incredible Hulk for me would be in there as well.
Yes, I mean, like you stack them like apples to apples, they're not going to be too different.
No, because this tier will be a lot more less, and there'll be a lot more in here. For me,
Maybe. We might have to do that on another potty, but
we will.
I just don't think so. I think once that phase 3 was just in its like golden era, we just started changing our expectations on what MCU movies should be, on what kind of standard they have to meet every time. When in reality, we've gotten pretty average stuff throughout time, like all the time from Marvel. It's just they've been on a really good stretch. But yeah, no, I mean, I like it. Yeah, we're gonna get to what I think it should be, and probably the right way to do it on mine.
Well, I have a whole category that's DNS.
Pardon?
If I watch all of that, then it might be flow a bit more better. But I had to create that.
I did not think of that when I've done my tiers in this one. I'm going to reveal them now. I didn't do a DNS or anything. I just put them in the why does this exist? Because if I'm questioning, if I'm not going to watch something, it's because it's why should it exist? Why should I watch it? Kind of thing, That's so I haven't judged it, and that's kind of my thinking on that. But we're going to go straight to the first one. I get a good, nice little chuckle out of name with this. Yeah, okay. So my first tier is called Murder the Director, and it's Thor: Love and Thunder. The director is Taika Waititi. Quite possibly the worst director of our generation. No, that it's hyperbolic, of course. He's made some great stuff, but where he's going and what he's done since his Academy Award has just been atrocious. And it's not even the movies that he's created that are bad, it's his attitude and his responses towards the criticism of those movies, which I just don't like. When Thor: Love and Thunder came out and when the negative reviews came in, it's still fresh somehow. Somehow it's still fresh. He said, it's just because I made Thor Ragnarok so great. No, you didn't. I mean, Thor Ragnarok, it's fun. It's really good. It sparked new life into the character of Thor, but it's not like top tier MCU. It's just a really, really good time. But anyway, Thor: Love and Thunder, just a shit piece. A really, really bad. I watched it in cinemas and immediately, I don't know if I said it to them, but I remember thinking, I'm like, this is the first Marvel movie I've seen in theaters because I didn't see Eternals or Shang-Chi or Black Widow in theaters because of COVID. I'm like, this is the first Marvel where I've gone to theaters and I came out and I was like, that's bad. Usually it takes time to sink in because I'm so used to the acceptable quality of MCU. But this one was like, that's just bad.
And it's made it even worse because they have stuff like Christian Bale as God the God Butcher. And he was
potential, yeah.
And he was good in it as well, but the fact that the rest of the film was shit against that.
So bad. Do you remember like the screaming goats? This is a movie I don't want to revisit. And now he has like a daughter. The kids all getting passed up. We're not going to talk about this one anymore, but Murder the Director is Thor: Love and Thunder. If Taika Waititi died tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Like, I'd just be happy. And I'm in New Zealand, I can say that, so it's all good. No, I'd actually be kind of sad if he died. But don't murder the director. If you see him, do not kill him on my behalf. It's just a joke.
James sends his regards.
Or is it? All right, woman beating villains suck. So we got Ant-Man and the Quantumania because Jonathan Majors beats woman. We got The Marvels and She-Hulk in this one.
So is it women suck, beating suck, and villains suck?
No, woman beating villains. So woman beaters.
I get you now.
Now you get me, yeah. So you got Jonathan Majors, and then you got the villains that fight the female heroes, so to speak. Little playful there because of Jonathan Majors' controversies. But yeah, this is the next tier in terms of Multiverse Saga. We have Ant-Man and Quantumania in the tier above Thor: Love and Thunder. And look, I'll be the first one to say Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I think it's overhated. Slightly. I remember I went into it and I'm like, it's not as bad as the reviews made it out to be. I mean, just put into perspective, Thor: Love and Thunder is fresh, Ant-Man Quantumania is not. That's clearly a flaw because Ant-Man Quantumania is better than Thor: Love and Thunder, but it has major issues. You have your, next saga villain here. He gets taken away by Ant. And then you have Scott Lang going head to head with him, not even small, just punching. And it's like, oh, okay, well, he's not going to be hard at all. He's not even a threat. Yeah, so, yeah, and Nayan touched on the others as well. CGI, story structure, all that stuff. Just, yeah, really bad. Really, this is kind of where our MCU started to fall apart. Let's hope they can correct course. But then the next one we got is the Marvels. And this is just kind of a movie where it's just like, okay. I didn't find it like offensively bad or like been like, or like cringe or anything. Like that's Thor: Love and Thunder. That's why I think we should kill Taika Waititi. Again, joking, but it's bad, but it's not that bad. It has a lot of bad moments in it. You were right. It should have been Captain Marvel too. We should have developed that character more. She's not nearly developed enough to be the leader of the Avengers yet. You should have used this time, used this film to really push that character. But instead, you wanted to create, a group of 3 girls all teaming up together because cool. I mean, it just showed. No one in the world wanted to see this, by the way, because it only made 200 million worldwide. So yeah. Waste of time to do that. You should have developed the one character that was meant to be leading the new Avengers. Oh well. She-Hulk. I just had to put She-Hulk in there because it's the villain beats woman. So yeah, I just did it for the name. But She-Hulk is not as bad as everyone says. It does the opposite of what your usual Marvel shows do, and it starts off terrible and it gets better. That's the surprising part about it because I sat down. I think I was like deathly sick. Not deathly, but like, my granular fever. Yeah, I was so bad for like 2 weeks and I'm like, fuck, I feel bad enough. I watched She-Hulk. So I watched that, and by those last few episodes, I was like, I actually like what it's doing. It went really meta, really creative and weird, but still really flawed from the beginning. And if you give your character a bad start, the end's not very good either. So that's where She-Hulk is. I don't see a place in the future for She-Hulk in the MCU. It doesn't work. It's weird. Doesn't work. So yeah, any thoughts on these 2 tiers so far?
Nah, it's completely accurate. I mean, it's basically the same as my bottom tier. Like how all the band movies are down there.
Yeah,
like it's similar vibes, sort of.
Similar vibes. You got Eternals and Secret Invasion. Yeah. So we are kind of on the same page. And then we go to why does this exist? And let me just get this straight. So there's some stuff that I haven't seen or I haven't seen the full amount of. I've seen half of Secret Invasion and half of Miss Marvel. Nayan says Miss Marvel ends in a total dud. And I've seen the first half, and the first half's really, really great. But yeah, I couldn't get attached to keep watching it. So I think that 3rd episode is where it kind of started to fall off the shelf or whatever. But yeah, Miss Marvel, I don't think when you're introducing a major person like this, I think it should have been a movie from the get-go. The series wasn't the way to do this. In terms of Echo, I haven't seen Echo at all, so why does this exist? Why do we have a whole show dedicated to Echo?
I don't know, but technically, remember how it's on like Marvel Spotlight? It's not part of the MCU.
Yeah. It is part of the MCU. It's just the street level MCU.
Oh, who cares about the streets?
But like, just use the budget and the time for other heroes that need it.
I know, like it's just same as like Agatha all along. No one wants it, but we're getting it.
Why are you reminding me?
Because once this fucking saga is done, we're gonna redo this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's similar. Like no one asked for Echo. I mean, she was just like a popular character in what was it, Hawkeye? I think it was. She was in Hawkeye at the time, and then obviously some MCU execs saw like, oh yeah, the audience likes her. Boom, TV series.
Potential, yeah. Was Daredevil in it? I think he was in it for a brief moment, and that I just know that from the trailers. Yeah. So why does this exist, Echo? Because I just don't think there's a need for it, and there was no compelling reason for me to watch it because I'm watching things in this universe for the universe. If you know what I mean by that. What If Season 2? I actually liked What If Season 1. I thought it's a fun. It's just you can just watch it and you can just have a good time trying to exploring the possibilities of what could have happened. But it's not something for me to watch season by season. Like, you don't need to release this every single year. So I don't think there's no reason for a what if to continue. Secret Invasion, it's on Why Does This Exist? Not because I haven't seen the entire thing, but because why is it a TV show? Why isn't this like, it might not be an entire saga for the MCU, but at least a phase?
A phase for sure, yes.
Yeah, like you make this into a big thing, and like,
because it's a big comic book.
yeah. You spread it through the, I guess the solo movies and the crossover movies, and then you know give one finale as a major Avengers movie, and then you really, the beauty that you can do with that concept is you make the audience question and theorize who the Skrulls actually are. Is this guy a Skrull? Did he do something weird here? Kind of thing. You could have a lot of fun with it, but I think you've botched it. I don't know if they're going to revisit Secret Invasion again. I think they just wasted a major comic book arc.
I think so.
Yeah.
100%.
And Hawkeye, look, cool. He's an OG Avenger, but you don't need to start focusing on him after Endgame. I just don't think there's no reason for that TV series to exist. I think Hawkeye, it has no reason to exist. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just why for me. And then you also got Black Widow as well. Nan, you said it perfectly. It's too late for it. I know it feels so kind of cheap doing it to introduce new Black Widow in the form of Yelena, Florence Pugh's character. A cheap way to introduce that character disguised as a Black Widow movie. I think that's I think it's almost disrespectful, but I guess sure, you gave Black Widow a solo movie, but what does it mean at the end of the day? Nothing, because she died, and we all knew she died. So when she was fighting people, is this it for her? Is it what consequences? Oh, well, she died. We don't care. So Marvel they got to stop doing that. And then you got Eternals. I just don't see a reason for this group to be in the MCU at this point in time. Perhaps any point in time. Like you said, they've only just got into addressing that stupid thing in the sky. And this thing that takes place over 10,000 years, and they're part of historical events. I'm like, I know they got Chloe Zhao to do it, and she did a really good job on the filmmaking side of it, but in the larger MCU universe, it's just why? There's really no need, and it kind of, why weren't they there for Thanos? Like,
Exactly.
It's just, why does it exist? So I think it's part of that tier. I think it's good to be there. Any disagreements? And go harsh on me. I picked apart your stuff.
Yeah, but I'm judging yours by your tiers. And the way that your tiers are named. It's completely justifiable. Obviously, I would have had the stuff that you did not see in a separate category. For me. Even if this... No, I still reckon you can judge on half a thing. I basically made my judgment on She-Hulk on one episode, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a TV show, that it's acceptable to watch half of it at least because you've given it a go. It's 6 hours of your time.
But I have noticed that a lot of these are TV series for you. But the two movies, I 100% understand, for sure.
Yeah, when it comes to TV with Marvel and Disney Plus, is that they don't know how to do it. They have really struggled, and they're actually bad at it. I know we got Bob Iger saying fairly recently that they're going to switch to a cutback, but a traditional TV model where you have the showrunner overseeing it all, making sure it's one single vision. That's what we need.
I feel this entire tier is dedicated straight to Black Widow. Like, why does that exist?
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
that's what's first.
You can make an absolute argument for every single one, maybe not Hawkeye, but everything else, you can justify the reasoning for that. But Black Widow, as you said, she died. Why are we getting a solo film after she died? And Hawkeye is just a character that no one really cared about. He wasn't that significant in the Avengers. The first one, he's a puppet.
Yeah.
Third one...
The second one's a puppet, yeah. And then...
Third one, he wasn't even in it. Was he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He comes in Endgame, going around as Ronin. Okay, let's move to the next segment. Now, we're actually getting some good, so that's good for all of us, right? And then we have the flawed and fun phase 1. Tried to do a little bit of rhyme there. Don't know if it works, but flawed and fun phase 1 kind of works actually. It reminds me of the MCU phase 1 where there's flaws in a lot of those movies, but they're fun. And I got What If Season 1 at that because that thing's such a mix that it's really hard to judge and compare to everything else here, but there's a lot of great stuff in What If, the Doctor Strange episode, that's so memorable to me. But there's a lot of like forgettable, it's like I just kind of wasted 25 minutes of my life watching that. So flawed but fun, What If Season 1. Oh, man, a lot of rhymes here. And then we got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, I think this is honestly a really, really flawed movie. I don't even know what I would say it's fun either. It's more just kind of respectful.
Yeah,
I think
it was more of a Chadwick.
Yeah. Whenever it's dealing with kind of Chadwick and the grieving process of that we all had to do when he, just passed away suddenly, which is super sad. Yeah, that was tough. And the questions that we started asking, like, how are they going to address this in the MCU? And I think they did that really, really well. His passing, not really making it about how he died. It's just kind of that he's just gone and that, they're going to have to need a new protector right now. And I think Shuri is the right one to take the baton from him. But I don't think they completely justified that character change. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's the fault of the director or the writer. I think it's the fault of the circumstance because Shuri was never built up to be the next Black Panther. So it's hard to justify that. But I think they did the best they could with the circumstances that they were given. The villain was weak. I like the concept of Namor, but you're introducing an entirely new world when you're versing Wakanda. I just don't think they really compared that together. And then you get that CGI battle at the end where Ironheart looks like a transformer, and it's like, what is going on? This is silly. This is ridiculous.
I forgot that she was in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's in your easily forgettable. So,
this is why it's very hard to judge like tier from tier because I did mine more on like good to bad, but you're like very specific with your tiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to get creative with it, bro. I told you this at the start of the day. And then we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's not meh for me. It's a little bit better than that. There's a lot of great moments in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I mean, like, question to Nayan right now. If they remove in the Multiverse of Madness and they say, and it's like Doctor Strange, another title, your entire perception of the movie changes.
Possibly.
And your entire expectations change.
Yeah, because you're not expecting Multiverse to be in it. And then you're just shocked when you see it. And then, because it's your first time seeing Multiverse properly, you're like, oh shit, this is cool. And you see all those like quick scenes like, I want to see more of that and more of that. I want to see more of this multiverse. And it gets you super excited. But the fact that it was called Multiverse of Madness, you were expecting a decent amount of multiverse.
But a title can change, expectations like a lot more than we know at least. So Doctor Strange was a tough pill to swallow because I'm in the same boat as you. Multiverse of Madness, or what are we going to get? The trailer's built it up as well, like it's going to be a hectic adventure, and it really just wasn't that. Mm-hmm. But I think Multiverse of Madness does a great job of exploring the Stephen Strange character, especially the love interest that he has with Rachel McAdams, whatever her name is. So I think it does do some good stuff for character. It goes a little bit more into the multiverse aspect, not as much as we want. I get that. But the main flaw for me now in this movie is, and that's when I say the flawed and fun franchise, the flaw is the Scarlet Witch debacle. WandaVision didn't really pitch her to be a villain because she rectifies things by the end of that series. She's like, oh my God, look what I've done. Mm-hmm. I enslaved an entire town.
Yep.
And then, but she's still a villain in this. It's like, oh, okay, like what's going on here? So they never justified that character transition into be a villain. If they had doubled down on the WandaVision thing where she's like, no, like you've taken it, like the world's taken everything from me. I'm going to continue getting into dark magic. Then it's like, oh, okay, what is she going to do? And
It'll make it so much more better.
100%, yeah. So, yeah, I couldn't handle that. And then Moon Knight, I think, Moon Knight's just lost. It's just in between that kind of, that kind of being interesting and fresh and new, that did some really creative stuff as well, just exploring his background, even though I think it's similar to WandaVision, how they explore his background, like he goes through different doors and stuff like that and sees his childhood. But I think they explore mental illness and stuff like that in a really compelling way. But yeah, it's when you get to those final couple episodes where it kind of just unfolds. It's the classic Marvel formula in terms of
Pretty much.
TV. Yeah, that's where they really get led down, but a strong start. Yeah, any disagreements there?
Nah, I mean, it is flawed but fun phase. I can't even put like what if down into this why does this exist phase, because obviously that third episode in particular had a influence in regards to Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
And sure, those first two or the last two episodes were good, but it doesn't really have that much impact. So for your tiers, I think it fits right.
Yeah.
I can't remember your tier above. When I first saw it, I maybe thought Wakanda Forever was a bit low. I thought the emotional aspect and everything else was enough to bump it up a bit, because those really, really struck well.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that it's kind of like your tier. Like, I have forgotten a lot of aspects about Wakanda Forever. It's kind of only the Chadwick moments that have stuck with me.
Yeah.
And that's a bad film. Oh no, it's probably not a bad film, but that's a very big flaw. If I can't remember the specific aspects between your new protagonist and the antagonist, I think that's really bad. It's a really bad thing for a film. But yeah, it does stuff right at least. So let's go on to the next one, and it is Phase 3 goodness. And now what I mean by Phase 3 goodness is that the Infinity Saga Phase 3 was so good.
Is this your second to last tier?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so anyway. Yes, I believe so. Phase 3 goodness. So Phase 3 of the Infinity Saga was pretty much the golden era. Yeah, I mean, sure, you had Ant-Man and the Wasp. That wasn't part of it, in our minds at least. But yeah, that was just really strong outings, a ton of fun. You know, you could watch it and you just had a really good time with it, and you came out and it was good. Life was great back then, 2018, 2019, the good old years, right?
It was.
I know, yeah. I wish we could all go back there. But the ones that fell on that, first one I got is WandaVision. Now, WandaVision ends bad. I get that. It goes into its classic MCU formula while it uses, like, I think 5-6 episodes just building up to something completely different and mysterious and interesting. But you go to the second to last episode of WandaVision where it's her exploring her background. It fleshes her character out in a really beautiful way. I think it does a really good job of that. I think Agatha is a great villain, not enough to get a TV show, but she's really good on what she does. And remember, WandaVision kept people talking for weeks.
It did.
And theorizing. I think that's
Mephisto.
That's a success on its own. Like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, week after week, we're like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Who is behind this? Super interesting, super intriguing from the entirety of it. It feels cruel to just put it down so far just based on that last episode when it gets to that kind of, that big fight at the end kind of thing. And it gets a little bit underwhelming by the end of it. But I think what it does for the entirety of the show is just really, really good. And it took MCU into the next steps, I guess. So I give it a lot of praise for that. And yeah, WandaVision is one of the highlights in terms of this Multiverse Saga for me. And then you got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's another thing where it's like, it's very much like WandaVision, where it's like, I really hated the idea of it. And I was pretty, vocal to you about it. And I was like, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't care for it. I don't feel the need for it. Mm-hmm. And then you watch those episodes, like the first half, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, really great concept, really great way to, bring these two guys into the fold and have them try and take on the, responsibilities that Steve Rogers had and stuff like that. So I give it a ton of credit for how it opens it. It again, it's the same thing with WandaVision where the end of it's just kind of stops it from being a goat. And it's just like, imagine the last episode of both Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision being equally as great as the rest of the series. That'd probably be in the higher tier of this. That's how I view it, at least. But yeah, that shot of Captain America with blood on his shield and everyone watching, it's like, oh, that's good. Yeah. That's cool. And then we have Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep, you covered this one really, really well. It's phase 3 goodness. This is very much like Thor Ragnarok for me, where it brings new life to a character in both Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a ton of fun. It's funny. It has those really good moments that you've kind of waited for as a comic book fan. But story-wise, it's still kind of underwhelming. Thor Ragnarok didn't do too much in terms of its storytelling, but it does provide a little bit to character, and I think we got a little bit of progression on the Deadpool character. And who knows how Wolverine fits into the wider scope of the MCU, but yeah, a ton of fun. Like it's hard to really criticize that movie in terms of its relevance to the MCU, but yeah, he had a chance to kind of, go to the MCU, but he doesn't, and he just goes back to square one. Yeah,
missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity there. I wish it was just kind of at the end of it, Deadpool and Wolverine, they lost. And they got kicked into the MCU universe. Like that's the one they went to, and they were intending to go back to their old one. And then it could have given them really like powerful motivation to whatever's happening in the Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, where they're like, I need to go and get my universe back. Kind of like, thinking about it now, bro. Emotional. Missed opportunity, but still a great, great time at the theaters, as most people know by now. I'm sorry if I spoiled it. And then the final one I got here is Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Nan put this in easily forgettable. I don't think it's easily forgettable.
But still good. Read the whole title, cunt.
Yeah, I'm just being picky about that one. But yeah, Shang-Chi.
It's in my third tier.
It's fair enough. I think Shang-Chi is underrated at this point in time. I think it's forgotten about, as Nan has. But yeah, underrated, because I think it has the best hand-to-hand combat that we've seen in an MCU movie. It brings something fresh in that regard. I think the story is very good between, having a compelling villain. It establishes a whole new world that we haven't seen before. Not to how great Black Panther did it, but in a very good way. I think just the COVID element, watching it at home, it opened on Disney Plus first, kind of ruined the spectacle that it might have had. But I think it has some slight flaws, like Abomination. We don't need that kind of stuff in there. But as its own thing, as telling the opening origin story of a character, it's really good. It's better than Captain America, the First Avenger, Thor, The Incredible Hulk. It's better than the first Ant-Man. It's better than better than Doctor Strange. It's better than most of the opening movies of the other ones we've had. So we need to see more of the character, and they need to develop him a little bit more. But yeah, a good one of the Multiverse Saga. And then we'll go to the Goat Saga. And then Anayan can give his thoughts from there on out. Goat Saga, we got Loki season 1 and season 2. It is the Multiverse Saga tiers. Loki has to be in the Goat Saga side of it, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Loki season 1, season 2, sure, they are their own things, but they establish an integral part of what's going to go on in the Multiverse Saga. We're going to see the ramifications, I hope, and it will actually lessen how I feel about Loki season 2. He has to be in Doomsday or Secret Wars in some capacity.
You'll think so.
Yeah, he's the god of stories now. I think that's his term. So what they did with the character, I think is just really, really brilliant. I think the thing that I love most about these, or the series and the seasons, is how complex and it gets with time, and it's like it's just the stuff that I never expected to see or narratively experience with the MCU. So I have to give it props for that. In terms of what you said about you wish it was the Infinity War or the MCU Loki. I get that, and I wish it was as well, but it kind of shows me in these ones that Loki was always good deep down. You just kind of had to get in there, and you had to give him that focus and that reason. So it doubles down on Loki actually being secretly good. So I give it that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it is the swan song, the final goodbye for James Gunn and these characters. I think he did it beautifully. Having Rocket as the centerpiece, he is the central piece of trauma within the Guardians of the Galaxy and the crew. So it was good that they used him as kind of that piece that kind of drives the emotion behind the story. But as you said, all the characters, they kind of got their, not a happy ending, but the end of their arc, and me, the audience, we're happy to move on from these characters, go into a new Guardians thing now. James Gunn did it really, 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 really well. The Guardians trilogy is up there with one of the best trilogies in terms of comic books, in terms of film history as well. So all consistent throughout. And then you obviously got Spider-Man No Way Home as well. I think this does, a lot of things really, really well. It does what Deadpool and Wolverine did, but better. Introducing, those old school people coming back. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man coming back to the fold. It has that multiverse element from the Multiverse Saga, which is on what this Tiers thing is about. So it incorporates the multiverse aspect brilliantly, but it also uses the old Spider-Man to grow the new Spider-Man and help him develop. And it has consequences for a hero. It makes Peter Parker Spider-Man, and he hasn't been Spider-Man for the first two movies. He's been little Tony Stark 2.0. What was it? Both heroes have been connected to Tony Stark?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was absolutely ridiculous.
He still doesn't have a villain of his own, by the way.
He really doesn't, yeah. But I love how we get the true essence of Peter Parker when we get those old heroes those old villains returning, and he wants to, help them correct course and be better people, despite losing people on the way, and how villainous they can actually be. It is the Peter Parker that we know and love and that we grew up with. So, yeah, we finally got Tom Holland as a proper Peter Parker. We'll see if they undo what they did great in this, because not only did Aunt May die, but Zendaya's MJ and Ned, his best friend, forget about him. And it's heartbreaking, but it's great to see that character grow. So, yeah. Goat Saga, those ones there. Nayan, thoughts on the whole Tiers list? Any disagreements on any of these?
Nah, that is good for what it's named. I was thinking that WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier could be moved down to Phase 1. But shut up, cunt.
Don't drop the C word.
It's the second time I dropped it. But then I remember what Phase 1 was, and I was like, if it was named Phase 2, I think those two properties should be down there. It feels more Phase 2-y for me, rather than Phase 3. But I can agree with you on the other two. Those are definitely Phase 3, especially Deadpool. Those are Phase 3 caliber.
Yeah. And you had WandaVision at meh. WandaVision's like up there for me.
Because it's meh.
Except for the last episode. Like, all of them are so good.
Yeah. But our lists are fairly similar, like in terms of like where everything is.
Yeah.
Like we still had like your top 4 was still in my top 2.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, so those are our tier lists, essentially. We have, we'd love to get your thoughts on this, but essentially the top realm of me and Nan's list combined, you'd have those first 2 seasons of Loki. They would be up there. No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 have been the best stuff since Endgame and Far From Home. Obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine's kind of up there as well. Same with Falcon and Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi. And then we kind of get into our own kind of opinions after that. But
and then poor old Taika Waititi is going to have his head on a spike. He's going to be...
Man's loving Game of Thrones.
He's going to be FBI most #1, according to James, with Murder the Director. That is absolutely insane. But yeah, let us know what you think of either of our tiers. We'll try to get it up for you in some sort of capacity. I have no idea how.
What, the actual photos?
Yeah. Otherwise, no, just listen to this. And then
I'll drop them on X maybe just to see.
Yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That-
I'd love to see other people's. Like, if you are listening to this and you want to reach out, reach out to us on X or Instagram, message us. I'd love to see how other people view it, because I feel like everyone's just so mixed on all these properties here.
One I'd love to do is one off the DCU, because you have to rank it from S to whatever based on the DCU.
What, the new universe?
DCEU, sorry.
DCEU. There we
Yeah.
go.
So that might be the next one I might do. That will be interesting. I think I already know what my S one would be and what my lowest one would be. Like easily straight out of the gate. But the middle, who knows?
The Flash.
Oh, that's part of it too.
Oh man, there's so many lows.
Yes.
And one high maybe.
I think that'll be a fun one to do. 2 highs.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What, Man of Steel?
No.
Batman vs Superman?
Yes, of
It would
course.
be Wonder Woman, and what else?
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then you
I'll
also
give
have Peacemaker as well, because they include it.
Is that part of it? But Peacemaker's part of the DCU.
But it's still also part of the DCE. This is confusing.
Yeah.
This is why James Gunn should just cut the cord at a certain... Anyway, off topic. This is one for a DC podcast. This is the MCU podcast. Let us know what you think of our tier list on X. That's probably where we're most active right now. Otherwise, keep tuned to Spotify or wherever you pod from. We'll be dropping Let's Be Real quite often down here.
Yep.
And if you want to listen to any of our old stuff, just search Let's Be Real and give us a listen. You won't be seeing us anytime soon. We're still trying to work out the kinks, but when you do, you can see our lovely faces on YouTube once again. Otherwise, that's us on this podcast today. Hope you've all enjoyed wherever you've been listening to or wherever you have been.
Yep.
We are Movie Gains. We'll catch you later.
Peace.